What's going on, my intergalactic pals? And today I'm going to talk about some cards. I'm looking at my screen because they are on my screen, not on here yet. But I'm going to go over some commons, some uncommons, one single rare, and a few legendaries. With that being said, if you're not subscribed, subscribe. If you like what I'm doing, please continue to watch. And let's get into it. The first uncommon I'm going to talk about is Perilous Position. It's 3 for -2, -2 condition. It's an upgrade. It's in blue, and one played exhaust attached unit. For 3 in blue, I think that's a solid upgrade. It does stop. 1, it can be equipped to a leader. 2, it gives negative stats, which is bonkers. We usually a lot of things, a lot of upgrades like traitorous doesn't add anything, but you get to take that creature or that unit. I don't know why I keep saying creature. Takes that unit, but it gives 0/0 for 3. I mean, for 3 to give -2, a permanent -2/-2, as long as they can't defeat the upgrade, and you get to exhaust it when it comes into play, that's pretty powerful. That's really good. Definitely something if you play in blue, and it's just blue, no villainy, no heroism. You could play this on Boba. You could play this on Sabine. It would hurt Sabine because then Sabine only does 2 damage, 1 for attacking, and then because I think is her power 3? Her power is 3, I think. But I'm just saying, it's a solid common. Might see a little bit of tournament play, I feel. Could be wrong, but this is just my take. The next card I'm going to talk about is Coruscant Guard. Said like as a question. Coruscant Guard is a ground unit for 2. It's a 3/2 with the coordinate ability, Ambush. Not a lot of coordinate effects I enjoy, but I think this one is very useful, especially for 2. Even if you don't give it Ambush, it's still 3/2 for 2. Solid common. Uh, if you don't know what ambush is, if you don't know what ambush is, you're new to the game, that's fine. Ambush is it comes in ready instead of exhausted. But coordinate is when this key gain this keyword while you control 3 or more units, including this one. When you play this unit, it may ready and attack an enemy unit. Again, I think it's a solid common for 2. It's a green, no ties to any side, and it's a 3/2. So even if you just need a turn 1 play, you got a 3/2 turn 1. I think turn 1 for Sabine is usually like a Marine, which is 2 for no 2 for 3/3. It has no effect. Uh, I just think for 2, I'd rather have a 3/2 if I had nothing at all. But for 2, still solid card. I think it'll see some play in some green. I might run it in Palpatine green. Next card I'm going to talk about is Merciless Contest. It's 3, it's a villainy. Each player chooses a non-leader unit they control, defeat those units. It's a common. Both sides loses a unit. Last I checked, and this was asked in the judge Discord, hey, if I play Merciless Contest and I have no units to defeat, does my opponent still have to defeat a unit? Yes. You just follow as much as you can. That was the conversation. So even if you don't have a unit on the field, for 3, you could still wipe a unit out. If it's the only unit that they have for 3, it's still really good, and it just defeats 1 unit as long as it's not Merciless TIE Fighter or Lurking TIE Fighter. As long as it's not Lurking TIE Fighter, you should be fine. Moving into the uncommons that I think is probably my picks. First one is Lethal Crackdown. It's 4, it's blue, it's villainy. Defeat a non-leader unit, deal damage to your base equal to that unit's power. Could be good, could be bad. But then again, for 4, defeat any unit, non-leader unit, solid card. You just take damage to your own base. If you're playing very heavily in blue, you do have access to heal or restore, and this may not really bother you. I think it'll see play, especially in a lot of Palpatine blue villainy decks, or maybe even Bosk blue might see some use in it. It's a solid pickup. I think this will be seeing some play. I think it might be a sideboard card more so than anything. Maybe 2 of. Maybe a hyperspace foil might be like $2-3. Just a random thought. The next uncommon is Clone Commander Cody. He's 5, a ground unit. He's a 4/4 green, no ties, and he has overwhelm. But he has another effect, coordinate, another coordinate effect. For each other friendly unit, gets +1/+1 and gains overwhelm. Why is that so good? He has so first off, he's an anthem. As long as you have 3 or more, he gives you +1/+1 and overwhelm. So even if you have other units in play, my Vader, if I played Vader with Cody, my Vader gets +1/+1. Now he's a 6/7 or 6/8. Then he gets overwhelm. That's great. There's no ties to it. It doesn't. They don't have to be clone tokens. They don't have to be Republic. They don't have to be troopers. They get +1/+1 and overwhelm. That is an amazing effect if you're going wide. I see this probably being played. Two of I would personally, me personally, I'm probably going to play it just because it gives +1/+1 and overwhelm. I'm playing double green right now, and I think double green is going to have a lot of access to to more units, and especially just the +1/+1 alone is just good. So I think this will see play. I'm definitely going to play it. If I get some hyperspace foils of it, I'll be happy too. I'd probably run no more than 2, and probably 1 in the sideboard. But that's just my thought. I think it's still a good card. The next card I'm going to talk about is a red event called Self Destruct. It's 2, it's red, it's a villainy. Defeat a friendly unit. If you do, deal 4 damage to a unit. Honestly, not bad, especially if you have a unit that you swung with. It's already almost out the door. It maybe has 1 health left. For 2, hey, I'm going to defeat it. I'm going to deal 4 damage to something. Something's going out with it. Solid. I mean, still for 2 and defeat a unit. Let's say you're playing green red villainy. I mean, you could have a laser tech in play. Hey, pop the laser tech, deal 4 damage to something on the way out, and you get a resource. Just a thought. But I definitely something maybe Bosk will see. I think Bosk could really use this because of all the bounties, and you want to keep triggering your bounties. Maybe Kylo. I think this is another solid uncommon. I think it'll see play, especially in, well, because it can only be played in red villainy. But I think it's a solid red card. It's a solid. It's just it's. When I say solid, I mean it adds value without making you feel like you lost a lot. Because I could defeat a friendly unit, be totally fine with it. Like I said, I swung. Well, let's say I swung with it. It's already almost defeated, like maybe 2 health left, and then deal 4 damage. Hey, especially if you're playing yellow, because yellow red, ooh, yellow red boba with this might be pretty good. I'm just this card is very, very situational. I think this is a good draft card. I don't think it'll be a good card to see in a lot of play, especially tournament play. It's blood sport. It's an event. It's 3. It's red. No ties to anything. It deals 2 damage to each ground unit. If there's a token deck, definitely wipes out a token deck. If it's it might maybe kind of help with Sabine because it deals 2 damage to everything. But Sabine doesn't really. Most of her stuff is like 3-4 health, so 2 damage across the board isn't too bad. Maybe if you're playing villainy and you have a fallen lightsaber, deal 2 damage, swing, deal 1 more damage, kind of cleans up the board a little bit. But I think if you're going to be playing Bloodsport, you might want to just play Bombing Run. Bombing Run deals 3 damage to all ground to the zone. I think that might be a little bit better. But Bloodsport, definitely a good pre-release card or draft card. Will it see play in tournament? Probably not. Hyperspace would look pretty freaking cool though. Next card I'm going to talk about, it's your boy R2D2, the new one. He's 2, he's yellow, he is heroism. He got a little buff, he's a 2/4 now. I think he was a 1/4 in the first set. Could be wrong. I get cards mixed up. His effect is when played, you may discard a card from your hand. When you do, if you do, not when, but if, I guess colloquially it still works the same. Anyways, if you do, search the top 3 cards of your deck for a card and draw it. Put the other cards at the bottom of your deck in a random order. It's just good. It's good. It's a 2/4. It's a solid little ground unit. When played ability. If you have really nothing in hand, nothing you can really use, maybe you want to discard with this. Maybe you have a big unit. You know you're not going to be able to play right away. Get something else, or maybe you're at the you're at the end turns of your games, your late game. These are the last two cards you draw. You play the R2D2, you ditch the other card, you find something better to help you out. I think this is a good card. I think this will see play. Probably. I think no for I think it'll see play. I think it will see play. I think this if they would have made this a promo, that would have been cool. Box stoppers maybe? Ooh, box stoppers. Fantasy Flight. Throwing out ideas. Box stoppers. R2D2. This one. Just saying, next time around. And out of all the get into the rares, I only have one rare. I chose this one because I think it's pretty interesting. I think it has some maybe playability, might be in just a sideboard. It's the Brain Invaders. It's a 4, it's a ground unit, it's a 2/4. Each leader loses all abilities except for their epic action and cannot gain abilities. You're thinking, Chris, why are you saying that? It's a 2/4 for 4. It's not that good. Yes, but you don't have to play it on turn 4. You can play it on turn 5. You can play it on turn 4 or turn 5. It's just good because this is the first unit that we get that is not tied to any side, has no color restriction, and it shuts off leaders. It shuts off Boba Fett. It shuts off Palpatine. It shuts off Sabine. It shuts off, well, just their effects. It shuts off Boss. It shuts off the new clone, the blue villainy girl that cares about that negates penalty aspect for clones. Turns that off. The only thing they get to do is epic action. Fine, but then now they have to waste resources or an attack or attacks to get rid of this thing. If you're playing defensively and you have a lot of solid units, sentinel units to protect it, or maybe there's more effects where you can't target it. It's a good card. I think it's a good card. I think it might see play, at least in the sideboard. I think this. I could be wrong. I think it's a very interesting rare. I think it's just unique in the sense of we got something that shuts off leader abilities. Might see play. I picked 5 legendaries. Going into the first one, it is Chancellor Palpatine. He's a 4 double yellow. No ties to anything. He's just double yellow. He's a 2/6. Each token unit you create enters play ready. And on attack, if a unit left play this phase, create a clone token unit. I think this is supposed to be paired with the new Palpatine Sidious card. You just play double yellow. I wonder why they made him double yellow. I don't know. But I mean, it's just, he's good. He's good. He readies if you're going token wide, at least token, deck, all your tokens entered ready play. And if you attack and then if a unit left play this phase. Oh, if a unit left play this phase. So it doesn't even matter, it has to be yours. As long as a unit left the game for the phase, you create a clone token trooper. The token trooper. Next one I'm going to get into is Cad Bane. He's 7, he's a villain, he's yellow, he's a 7/7. And when played, this unit captures up to 3 enemy non-leader units with a total of 8 or less remaining HP. Very, very interesting wording on that. They did that intentionally, I feel, because you can have a lot of things left at 1 HP and you can capture all of them as long as it's 3, up to 3. And then on attack, the defending player may rescue a card they own guarded by this unit if they do draw 2 cards. Depending on the unit that they captured, drawing 2 cards may be worth it and you get your unit back, but then again, might not be. It's surprising that they gave this I'm surprised they made Cad Bane 7 and he got a 7/7 with this effect, because this easily could have been a 9 cost for 7/7 with the capture, with the defeat. It might see play. It might see play, especially in Boba. At least one of 2, one in sideboard. It's the next card I'm going to talk about is Darth Maul. He's 5, he's red, he's a villainy, he's a 5/5, and this unit can attack 2 units instead of 1. What does that mean? Well, it does tell you all of it here, but I'll go over it. This unit deals its combat damage to both defenders, and they both deal their combat damage to this unit. All damage is dealt simultaneously. There was a rules question, and someone said, hey, if I put relentless? It's an upgrade. I'll probably put it up on the screen. It's an upgrade. It says whenever you defeat a unit, deal 2 damage to the enemy base. They said, hey, if I did that with Darth Maul, and I attack and I defeat 2 units, do I get the trigger twice? You do. You do get the trigger twice because he attacked, he does damage at the exact same time to the other unit, and if they both are defeated, you deal 4 damage to that enemy base. That's pretty strong. Will we actually see that happen? Maybe. But I think people will probably defeat the Darth Maul before the Darth Maul could attack, because this could take out some solid units. Will it see play though? I think maybe if you're playing, actually Bosk might run this. I think this is a good card. I think it may see play. I think the value will be there because people love Maul. Next card I'm going to talk about is Gore. He's 12. He's a 7/7. He has Exploit 3. Yeah. Sentinel, Ambush, and Overwhelm. He has a lot of crazy effects. Exploit, you defeat X number of units. X equals the number of exploit. You get -2 or 2 less to the resource cost of the monster or the unit. So if exploit is 3 and I defeat 3 units, that's -6 to the cost of Gore, making Gore a 6. Meaning I can play him for 6, have a 7/7, have a Sentinel, have an Ambush, and have an Overwhelm. And if I have a Cody out, he gets +1/+1 and double Overwhelm. Double Overwhelm is not a thing, but it's just funny that he'll have it. This is a championship card. Looks amazing. I will probably never get one because I don't play in the tournaments. I judge, but would love to have one just because I do love Gore. Gore is going to go into my Palpatine deck. He is going to be one of my big boys. Will he see play? Yes, he will see play. And what decks? I have no idea, but he'll see play in my deck. And the last card, and I've been talking for about, the last card is Clone. It's 7. It's a 0/0. It's a clone effect. It's a unit. It's a ground. You may have this unit interplay as a copy of a non-leader, non-vehicle unit in play, except it gains the clone trait, and it's not unique. What does that mean? Well, if it comes in as a copy of, let's say, Gore, guess what? If the Gore is on your side of the field and you clone Gore, you get all of those attributes printed on. But you don't have to defeat the clone, and you don't have to defeat Gore because the clone is a non-unique version of Gore. So now you have 2 7/7s, Overwhelm, Sentinel, Ambush, and when he does come in, he does get the Ambush. Will it see play? I'm going to play it. If I get it, I'm probably going to run one of, especially if I can clone Vader. Clone a Vader, have a Vader on my side, clone Vader, and get another Vader Ambush and trigger. Still pretty good. And if not, then I just clone one of my opponent's units if they have something that I really, 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 really want. I think it might see play. I think one of will see play in tournament. I think it'll see play in tournament. So those are my cards that I'm picking. I think these are cards that will see play. I think some of them are really cool, really interesting. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. Thank you guys for watching. And as always, be safe out there in that big, big galaxy of ours. And I'll see you around.